When it comes to gentle sleep training, there are definitely some myths and some facts that you need to know before you jump into sleep training your baby. I'm just gonna jump right in with myth number one. One concern that I hear from my clients is that when we're doing gentle sleep training, that it's still going to result in cry it out and making your child just cry themselves to sleep and just give up on the fact that their parent is going to come and give them what they need and meet their own basic needs. Now, of course, this is a myth, and in my practice, any sleep training method is going to teach your child that you are going to respond to their cries when they need you. Here at Slumber and Bloom, we emphasize the importance of responding to your child's cries with empathy and sensitivity. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy, but it also doesn't mean that your child is going to cry it out. I very, very, very rarely ever tell a parent that they need to just close the door and leave their child until they fall asleep. If I ever get to that point, it's after trying every single other sleep training method that we can, depending on the child's age, milestones, personality, and parenting style. These are all the things that are taken into consideration when you work one-on-one with a sleep consultant, especially when you want a more gentle sleep training strategy. Myth number two is that you can never rock your baby to sleep again, and if you do, it's going to ruin everything. Now, of course, this is a myth because first of all, once your child is already sleep trained, they have the skills to go to sleep independently. So if you have to rock them to sleep once in a while, like the 80-20 rule that I always preach about, then it's not going to ruin your child's ability to self-soothe and fall asleep independently. Also, to debunk the myth that some parents don't sleep train at all, whether you are gentle sleep training, not sleep training, child-led sleeping, or rip the band-aid, cry it out sleep training, whatever you choose as a parent, it is still sleep training, sleep teaching, sleep conditioning. It's really all the same thing, and some people like to use fancy words to make it sound different than it is, but any form of sleep teaching is sleep training. No matter what parents decide to do, they are committed to teaching their child to sleep in one way or another. And if their baby's sleep prop was rocking to sleep and they're choosing for their own good and for their baby's good and for the sleep wellness of the entire family, if they're choosing not to do this sleep association anymore, there are gradual ways to do that, like weaning of the baby's sleep prop. Now, the next myth that everybody needs to know about is the fact that some professionals will say that all babies can sleep through the night by the time they are 3 months old or 13 pounds or whenever they get to these like certain milestones, and that they should not need overnight feedings anymore. And this could not be further from the truth. The only person that can tell you exactly when your specific child can sleep through the night is the pediatrician who has access to your child's growth chart. And I air quote sleep through the night because even if your baby still needs to wake up for 1 or maybe 2 feedings per night, but they are sleeping through the night other than that, they're still sleeping through the night. There's no age requirement, there's no weight requirement, there is no milestone requirement for your baby to be able to sleep through the night. And on the flip side of that, if your baby has met those milestones that maybe somebody told you that, oh, they can sleep through the night once they're 3 months old, just throw those facts out the window because they're not facts at all. Now, if you're looking for a tip on helping your baby learn to connect their sleep cycles and to start sleeping through the night when they are developmentally appropriately ready to do so, the one major thing that you need to do is ensure a proper sleep environment. So that means that you want to make sure your baby is either in your room or in their own room, but they are on a firm flat mattress with nothing else in the crib, bassinet, pack and play, wherever you have them sleeping. It is a firm flat mattress, no blankets, no pillows, no loose items in there. You also want to make sure that the room is blacked out and that you have white noise consistently the entire night long. You don't want to have your child just sleeping in your arms in the living room with the TV blasting, the lights on, and having a party. Yeah, like that's okay for the first 2 to 3 months of your baby's life, but once they hit that 4-month sleep regression, then you want to make sure that you are 100% instilling the safe sleep environment and the proper sleep environment strategies so that your baby is sleeping in the perfect space for them to be able to connect their sleep cycles and sleep through the night. If you're hanging out in the living room with your whole family and your baby and they're just being passed around, and this happens all the time, and you're still wondering why they're not sleeping through the night, it's because they're not getting that production of melatonin, because their circadian rhythm is all over the place. They don't know when it's time to sleep, when it's time to be awake, when it's time to party and be with family, and they just don't really have routines and structure in their day. So that's just a little nugget of a tip for you to really start helping your baby get a little bit better sleep. If you're enjoying these myths and tips, then I want you to head down to the description box down below and grab my free baby sleep guide. This is going to help you navigate all of these sleep hurdles, and it's going to put on paper for you how you can create the best sleep environment, what your routines should look like, and just lots of other great little nuggets in this little baby sleep guide. So make sure you grab it. The next myth is that families who co-sleep don't believe in sleep training, and that they believe that sleep training will always be a failure. And that could not be further from the truth. I can't tell you how many co-sleeping families I have worked with who say co-sleeping was great for us for, you know, the first however many months, but now it's not sustainable, and we need help transitioning the baby either into the bassinet or into the crib in their own room. And that is 110% what I help these families do. In these situations, I love using the chair in the room sleep training method. And you're in luck, because that is the next video that you are going to see on this channel. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss when that video comes out, and I will give you step-by-step directions on how to do the chair in the room sleep training method. This is not cry it out, but it is important to know that with any changes in your child's sleep patterns or your expectations for their sleep, there might be some crying. But with the chair in the room sleep training method, you are right there next to your child while they're falling asleep and helping them adjust to the new ways of falling asleep at night. It's also important to understand that the chair in the room method is not the right fit for every single family, depending on your child's personality, the milestones that they've met, and how much patience and time that you have that you can dedicate to sleep training. So sometimes there are families who may have 3 children like I do, and the mom says, I don't believe in a ton of crying, but I also know that realistically, I can't sit in the room with my child as they fall asleep every single night, especially if it's taking 30 to 60 minutes, maybe even 2 hours or longer for the child to fall asleep. Then we know that we need to move on and do a different sleep training method. That still doesn't mean cry it out. If you can tell, it drives me insane that people think that sleep training equals cry it out, and it just can't be farther from the truth. And you can also go check out my Google reviews and see that these families are not forced to make their child cry it out until they just exhaust themselves into sleep and they just fall asleep because nobody's helping them or responding to them. That is not what sleep training is. That's just, I am here to debunk these myths because I am so passionate about helping babies and families sleep through the night, and I am here to help you. If you need a customized sleep plan and a one-on-one support consultation, then check out the link in the description box down below. I have different packages to meet different families' needs and meet you where you are in your sleep journey and help you improve and meet your sleep goals. Don't forget that if you are interested in the chair in the room sleep training method, that will be on my channel in about a week, if not sooner. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, click the bell so you get notifications every time I put out a new video, and keep blooming. Mwah.